On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, the two founders of MyEtherWallet, one of the world's most popular Ethereum wallets, have made the decision to go their own separate ways with their own separate wallets. Now this kind of change can cause a lot of concern for people, so allow me to explain what on earth is going on. So MyEtherWallet then. This is one of the most popular Ethereum wallets in the world. It's actually one of the most important tools in the Ethereum ecosystem, because it provides a way to store and manage all your Ethereum and your Ethereum-based ICOs, ERC20 tokens, and all the rest of it, right? In fact, I conducted my one-day crypto investing workshop yesterday, teaching students, and MyEtherWallet was a core part of the day. In fact, if I show you one of the slides from yesterday, the way I describe MyEtherWallet is kind of like a sock puppet. So I say here, MyEtherWallet is just dumb software, like a sock puppet. When the sock is on the floor, no one's hands in it, it's just a sock, right? You have to put your hand in it and then puppet it somehow to make it do anything. So that's kind of how MyEtherWallet works. When you look at the MyEtherWallet settings, it says, how would you like to access the wallet? And you can puppet it basically with any one of these various wallets, right? So again, back to the slide. The thing about MyEtherWallet is it never stores your keys, right? It might hold them if you access it with a private key, but it never stores them, right? It runs on your computer. And the purpose of MyEtherWallet is to broadcast transactions to the Ethereum network on your behalf, right? And that does it after you've signed the transaction with your key. So it's very much you're in control. It just facilitates the actual interaction with Ethereum. And then, like I said, when you remove your private key from MyEtherWallet, it's like a sock puppet that just goes back to normal again. And you take your key, or in the case of the sock puppet, you take your hand with you, right? So that's basically how it works. And you can drive MyEtherWallet in a variety of ways, like I just showed you. When you go to MyEtherWallet and either view information or try and send tokens, it asks you how you want to access it, and you can drive it with, MetaMask, any one of these three hardware wallets. Paste your private key in there if you want to. Not recommended, but you can do that if you wish. Now, suffice to say, it's become very popular, and it's even recommended by many ICOs these days as the preferred way to actually send your Ethereum to an ICO when you want to invest in it, right? Now, MyEtherWallet itself, it was co-founded by a lady called Taylor Monahan and this fellow called Kosala Hemantchandra, both back in 2015. I've never really heard much from the MyEtherWallet team beyond project updates and just reassurance about potential scams and so on, right? But then came this tweet from a Twitter account called MyCrypto. It says, "Hey all, don't freak out, but we're no longer at MyEtherWallet. MyEtherWallet still exists, but we're now MyCrypto." And it links to a Medium post. So this announces that MyEtherWallet has been rebranded to MyCrypto, which was weird because I wondered how this Twitter account, MyCrypto, got 80,000 Twitter followers in its, short life. Now granted, when you scroll up to the very top of the MyCrypto Twitter account, it does say that they joined in January of 2016. But as we'll talk about just in a minute, this is the original MyEtherWallet account that has been rebranded. So that's a little bit of a question mark, right? This thing about the MyEtherWallet Twitter account being rebranded as MyCrypto, this is actually confirmed by Kosala in this Reddit post where he gives his statement of account, right? And it's in this Reddit post where he clarifies that yes, he was the original developer and creator of MyEtherWallet, and then because he's a developer and needed help with the business side of things, he brought on his friend Taylor to help him with that side of the end of business, the business end of things, and things kind of took off from there. Long story short, Taylor and Kosala have decided to end their business relationship and basically create their own competing versions of MyEtherWallet. So Kosala, the original developer behind MyEtherWallet, will continue developing MyEtherWallet, albeit with a brand new Twitter account, and Taylor will lead this new project called MyCrypto, and they'll be using a Twitter account called MyCrypto, which is actually the old MyEtherWallet Twitter account rebranded. So that's the only bugbear there. So then there's this blog post from the newly formed MyCrypto team, which they posted on Medium, and it mentions here that many of the staff members from the old MyEtherWallet team have voluntarily decided to join Taylor in this new venture, right? Now you can read all the details of this for yourself if you like, but For me, the single most important detail in all of this, and one that both Casala and Taylor agree on in their published statements, is that the decision to end their business relationship, it was mutual and amicable, right? There are no character attacks on either side as far as I can see, and Casala even wishes MyCrypto all the best in his Reddit post. So while this split is amicable, there is still that question mark over this, rebranding of the MyEtherWallet Twitter account with the 80,000 followers. Shouldn't MyCrypto have created their own brand new Twitter account for their new brand? Well, probably yes, but then they'd have to rebuild a community of 80,000 followers from the ground up, which is probably why they wanted to, take the MyEtherWallet Twitter account with them. So there is that ethical question, and to my mind, I'm erring on the side of yes, MyCrypto should have, started their own Twitter account from scratch, even if it was a bit of a hard slog building the community back up again from scratch, right? Now, there's an article published by TechCrunch here, and this is interesting because it shares some observations which may give clues as to why the two decided to split. In their respective statements about the split, they both say that the details of the split are going to remain private, and it's interesting that they've both honored that. In neither of their published statements have they revealed, the specifics around it. So that does look like they agreed in private to separate, and they agreed to keep it private, and they both have honored that agreement so far. So that's pretty good. But if you look at this TechCrunch article, it displays the number of GitHub contributions of the two parties, Taylor and Casala, over the last few years. So you might want to take a look at this and see what you make of it. And because GitHub is the repository where you keep all of your open source code, and then each user, it tracks like how many contributions you've made to the code over time, and like you see here, it maps it on sort of a color map. So the darker the green, the more contributions you made. And this one I'm looking at here, which was contributions for, I think that's 2017. Yeah, it says in the past year. Basically, it ranks Taylor having done 2,184 contributions in the last year, and Casala having done 465. More notably than that, though, as the year goes on, from January to December, Taylor's contributions increased dramatically, and Casala's drop off to almost nothing. So take that information and draw whatever conclusions you will. I'm not going to speculate on what that means, but it's a very nice find on the part of TechCrunch. So ultimately, the situation now is that there are two versions of what we used to know as MyEtherWallet. We have MyEtherWallet.com, which was the original one, and now we have MyCrypto.com, which are two, at the minute, almost identical versions, albeit with different brands and almost identical functionality as far as I can tell. So that's the way it is for the time being, except for the domain name and the branding. No doubt, the more the time goes on, the more differently they will become as they each develop in their own directions based on their own beliefs and desires and goals and so on. As always, I highly recommend securing your Ethereum and all your associated ERC20 tokens using a hardware wallet. Whether you use MyEtherWallet or not, I still recommend by default you use a hardware wallet in order to give yourself confidence that whatever happens, whenever any news like this comes out, good or bad, that any changes at the software level means that your keys and your money are still protected. So thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you like this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, head over to my website. It's cryptoversity.com. Click on courses, and you can take any one of my online courses that I've made for your educational delight. All right, guys, that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.